Our doubles have been a little light lately, so we are heading to Turfway Park to try and mix it up a bit.
Hopefully.
Hopefully is right, Vinny. We've had a couple $3, $4 doubles over the course of the last few weeks, and if people want to win their Sure Bet coffee, we're going to give them a daily double for the John Battaglia that hopefully is going to pay stacks. What do you think?
I hope it pays a little bit. At least more than last week's $3.40 did.
Yeah, we've been lacking a little bit in our not finding the races with not favorites. We like to follow the Kentucky Derby trail, and obviously we've had some heavy favorites with Renegade and Paladin over the course of the last few weeks not make the payday. So we're going to go to Turfway Park for race 8 and race 9 for Saturday. Vinny, we have the John Battaglia Stakes, and we did a little early preview on that race particulars. So if you want to check out those thoughts, we found some value. We'll give you some value, and we'll show you if the value ended up making our ticket. Here is leg 1 of our daily double. A field of 9 for 3-year-old fillies. Going 6 furlongs on the synthetic. This race gets a class rating of 91. Where did you land?
I landed on the Brad Cox horse, the number 2, Cadenza. I liked how this horse looked last time out. Debuted at Saratoga on the dirt. Dirt effort wasn't great. Switched her to the turf later in the meet. She broke her maiden on the turf, and then brought her back in December here at Turfway, and she was very close. She half length, just missed by a half length. Had I rad that day, but didn't have the cleanest of trips. So wasn't like a perfect trip. So I thought this was I thought this horse just made a ton of sense here. Coming back, the horse that ends up winning is the 6-5 favorite here, but she's the number 10 on the outside. I think the race scratched down to only like 8 or 9 horses here. But she's wide throughout and she just misses. I'm fine with that. She gets Lasix for the first time today, which is another weird angle that I like. If they've run well without Lasix before, them getting Lasix I just never see as a negative. So I just thought this horse made a ton of sense here.
I decided to leave off. Do you know why?
Probably because it's Brad Cox dropping down with Machado instead of Irad.
Yeah, that's close, but not quite for me, as I've talked about on the Derby trail for the last few weeks. And I'm going to contradict what I'm saying. But at a price of 5-2, I don't want the horses that ran January 21st. That's kind of what I've just keep fading, right? And we've had some luck with that, and we've missed a little bit. The horse wanted maiden special weight at 100,000. That was on the turf at Saratoga. I like that there's a race over the synthetic and gets a 95. The blue speed figure there indicates the highest speed figure in the race of any of these horses. So that's something to be, that's something that you definitely want and can't shy away from that. I just don't like the 5-2 in a field that I felt was more evenly matched. So when we go to Turfway,
makes sense.
And I will be the first to say that I'm terrible at this track. So you made me go here because we didn't have many options with other prep races. So we're here for the John Battaglia. And you didn't want to go the maiden claimer in the last, which maybe I would have preferred. I like the little chaos.
I did not want the maiden claimer.
So I thought
that the race.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go first.
I was going to say the race being her first race as a 3-year-old was the reason I didn't single.
Okay.
I did use another horse, in here. Between that and losing Irad, I don't think they were going to get Irad to come in just for this race. But between those two factors, that's why I didn't single. But I do really like this horse. I think she just fits, and I feel like this is a move that Brad Cox has made with some of his like B tier horses over the last few years. That he's had a lot of success with, where he shipped some of these to Turfway, and they just run very well here for him.
And Racelands agrees, has the 2 on top at 34.5%. Racelands also says that it's going to be a hot pace. Early pace may be slow, but there's lots of speed in this race. It could still set up for a horse from off the pace. And one of those horses that I paid attention to, one thing I like to do with Racelands, Vinny, is look at the early part of the race. And just visually, you can look and you see 2, 3, 4, 5, one in between them, and then 6, 7, 9. What I like to do is then go and look at the middle part of the race and compare the two and tell me which horses are kind of picking up speed, which ones are improving their position. And the one that jumped out to me right away is the number 9. So you have the 2 who both advances and kind of goes ahead of the field. And then you've got the 9 who's in this second flight, who by the middle is, at least according to Racelands, going to be more forwardly placed. And horses like that, I'm telling you, have a lot of success when using Racelands and looking at it that way. That is the number 9, a lot of alpha. Sired by Mackenzie, a $300,000 Keeneland September yearling sale, is 1 for 2 at Turfway. And I like the fact that the horse ran January 22nd, going 6.5 furlongs. I don't like the fact that it took the horse like 6 times to break that maiden. I know that that's something you kind of hone in on, is like, well, it took 6 times, so what's there?
Yeah,
But the first 4, right? I mean, those are on the turf. One of them's at Kentucky Downs for
yeah,
170,000. Like, I'm okay tossing that one. Then goes to Keeneland, doesn't run a lick. They try Churchill, doesn't run a lick. They move back to Turfway December 19th, going 6.5 furlongs. And the horse who previously in these races, there's a pattern of always being behind. They move to the synthetic, and he goes from 10th. She goes from 10th to 4th, putting up at that time a career best 80. Then comes back January 21st, 22nd, a month later, is a lot more forwardly placed, gets a 91, and closes nicely for the victory in that effort. So the Racelands is kind of what piqued my attention first. I believe, let me check my model real quick, because I think that also backed it up. Yeah, my model had the number 9 second behind the 2. So it did have the 2 on top for you, which is good. And the 9 for me is one that I'm intrigued by. The other one that I'm intrigued by is the number 7, Leclerc, who tried first time out on the turf at Monmouth, moved up to Saratoga, then ran at Keeneland on a sloppy track, which was just not having any of it that day. Comes back and runs January 31st at the fairgrounds, and it's the gray horse here. What I like here is this horse is on the front of a pretty hot pace. And the jockey here, it's in the red, white, and blue, the gray horse, the number 3, falls back off those 2 pace setters up front. Like, at this point, you kind of, if you're watching this race live, you might be thinking this horse is all done, right? He's dropping back. And then right here, he goes, let's go. We are going. And this horse has that next kick. Comes around, comes 3 wide, and at 8-1 pulls off the long stretch here at the fairgrounds, gets the momentum, and ends up taking down this race over the number 1 there, and a 3-5 favorite on that day. So Lake Claire, the number 7 for me. I'm hoping the move to the synthetic is going to be an advantageous one, and a grinder. So number 7 and number 9 for me to try and get through the first leg. Who is the other horse that you used?
I'm going to use the number 6 for Michael Maker. Lorelei Lee. Only one start, but it was here at Turfway. I like that. I like that this horse already has a start over the synthetic. It was a win. It was a very nice win. Horse came from off the pace. I like seeing them do that. I like seeing them do that first time out, and this was a big field as well.
Mm.
It was a big field. Nothing didn't do anything like super impressive, but second time out, horse improves off of the horse improves off of that race, I don't see why she doesn't fit here. I mean, but besides that, besides like on at least with the Equibase figures, besides that 95 that the two put up, everybody else is like high 70s, low 80s, mid 70s, low 80s. Like the 9 put up a 91 last time, sure. But everybody else is like it improve if this horse improves 7-8 points and runs like an 85 here. I can see where like an 85 could win this race. Nobody else is running like it's not like we have horses who are consistently running high numbers. So I thought second time out improvement for Maker. I thought the horse just made a little bit of sense.
In Racelens, you can tailor what your research is going to be, and it'll automatically pull it for you. So I have mine set up for mostly when you're looking at sires, it's like distance and surface. And the first thing I'll look at is the ROI column, because a lot of the times it's always negative. So when I see the plus 7% like we see here, that intrigued me. And that's the one note I wrote down about this 6 is that then I'll go right to left. So we have a plus 7 ROI. We have a 20% win percentage. Okay, what does this mean? It's Nyquist. And if you hover over it, it'll tell you what my criteria are. So over the past 3 years, Nyquist as a sire with dirt sprints in their second career start is really well. So 20% plus 7 ROI. The dirt in that instance includes the synthetic because the angle is set up to include, it kind of considers those the same. So it is mixed in, and maybe that's a little bit more dirt heavy for Nyquist, but at the very least, you have that angle there looking pretty positive.
Yeah, like again, I think the 2 is gonna be. I think the 2 is gonna be tough, but I like that this horse, like you said, is already run this year. Bring her back, second career start. I thought just made a little bit of sense. Why I didn't single the 2. We'll see though. The 2 opens at 3-5 and wins for fun. It's like this is a bad race to go too deep. So we'll see.
Another loser for me, it will be. Right now, you can head on over to doublingdown.printful.me to support the show. Get your Doubling Down gear and scan that QR code. It'll bring you to the site as well. We're going to take a quick break here on Nesson Nation, and we'll be right back with our thoughts on the John Battaglia Memorial. If you're watching on the Doubling Down YouTube, take this moment to slam that subscribe button. All right, Vinny, it is the John Battaglia Stakes, another race for Kentucky Derby points, not 50. We go back to 20. So last week was the 50. Next weekend, we've got 3 prep races. So we will be wall-to-wall coverage right here on the Doubling Down channel. Jump into our app at doublingdown.glide.page. You can see the leaderboard right there. It's only $16 on top by my friend King George, who's a local Bostonian. Jay Worm. I want to throw a quick shout out here. Jay Worm's been doing some great picks. Follow him on X. And Vinny, I left out of the lead. We have our first newsletter coming out this weekend called 0 Minutes to Post. And Jay Worm has some Turfway statistics that we're going to include in the newsletter for y'all that will give you a good jump start on your handicapping for Turfway on Saturday. So if you go to our app and you put in your email, we'll only hit you up on Saturday as a reminder to get your picks in. So we want you to play our contests. Prizes are always free. Racelens, we'll have subscriptions for Racelens as the prize in March. So be sure to check that out. And Sherbet Coffee is giving coffee and tumbler to the winner and also second and third place this month. So it's free to play. We don't spam you. We want to give you good content and 0 minutes to post. Get it? Post newsletter? I tried. That will be what comes out on Saturday. We'll have a little section of our thoughts. Maybe we'll throw in some top 5 countdowns, and we'll have links to our rankings, all kinds of good stuff that we try to build up. We are not just a YouTube channel. We're trying to be a little bit of everything. So, John Battaglia Stakes, we already talked about this earlier in the week, Vinny. We touched upon, we watched a few race replays of horses that have comments that say they got into trouble, which we kind of proved wrong on a few of them, that there wasn't necessarily as much trouble as we thought. Has your mind changed at all from the number 1 Street Beast when you said on Monday that that's where you were going to go?
It really hasn't. The more I look at this race, like you said, there really is a lack of speed in here. He's going to have the shortest trip around. And even if he doesn't get the lead, he doesn't necessarily need the lead. And I think I think that's why it's hard for me to get away from him. Like, yes, like he went gate the wire here, but you go 2 back to his win and at Kentucky Downs. He didn't need the lead. His maiden breaking win at Kentucky Downs, he also didn't need the lead. He sat right off. So like I don't see where if like some of the couple of the other speeds that are on the outside, if they want to go and he can just sit in that pocket like third by length or two, I don't see where he just doesn't trip out unless the pace horse moves over to the rail and just completely shuts him off late. I just don't see where he's not in it with at least a chance turning for home. I feel like from the rail, he's going to be able to hold the rail because he has that natural speed. So I feel like he's even going to force the other speed to kind of go wide. I just couldn't really get around it. And like, yeah, he's 5-2. It's it's a low price for this kind of race, but I just found a hard time hoping that every time I looked at it, I just felt like if I was going to toss him, I'm just really hoping he gets a bad trip, whether than it's well, hey, I think this horse could run him down if this didn't happen. So I didn't single him. I do think he's beatable, but I think he does his best running sitting off the pace, and I think there's a really good chance he just gets a really good trip here.
You chalk eater. You chalk eater. We're going to Turfway and you go 5-2 over 5-2. Like, come on, Vinny. Come on.
I know.
Look at this. Look at this pace. He's not even number one with pace early. He's got an 84.1.
That's fine. That's fine that he's not. But there's not a lot of pace. Like, who else is going to be the pace in here? The 10? The 10's going to cross over everybody?
Oh, look at Race Lens.
Look, the race, yeah, race
nailed it.
Does the what? Does the 10? Yeah, has the 10 crossing over early. Yeah, and it's got the. I mean, right. So you're gonna. It's got the 9. Like it's gonna have the 9 and the 10 crossing over that early. Like that's what I mean. Like I feel like this one is just gonna sit a great pocket trip, and he's gonna be like a length or two behind the pace setters who are gonna be crossing over if they hold on. Sure, sure. But like I feel like a lot of them are. Like the 10's coming from Sam Houston. I'm fine with a horse. Like if a horse from Sam Houston's going to wire this race, I was going to lose either way. So I'm fine with that. Like that, I feel like that's just where I'm at with it. Is that like these other speed horses are all going to have to cross over. Yes, the 11. The 11 was a horse that I debated on using, and
there you go.
Yep, that wants to sit off the lead. But I thought he was going to be wide.
Well, so that's he's going to be wide, but as you mentioned, the 9 and 10 are going to go, so it's going to let him get in a little bit. And then I just mentioned it in the last race. Look, 11 middle at early, he's in the middle of the field, and then you get late, and here he is. He's gaining ground on this field. And that replay that we just showed you, we'll go back to it in Race Lens. I talked about this horse earlier in the week. He is your gray horse on the outside, the number 5, closing pretty nicely here last time. Going against your 9.
Yep.
And to me, like 1 length, and you're giving me only 3-1 on the
3-1.
Yeah, sorry.
Right, he's 3-1.
My other long shot was the price I was hoping I was getting on him, but I'm more excited about full effort than I would be, at least in this case with Street Beast. I'm trying to get some money on my leaderboard, so I'm gonna take out the 2 favorites, and if there's a place to do it, it's at Turfway Park.
Turfway, yep. And like I said, I didn't single him. I do think he's beatable. I just, I couldn't go. I just felt like when I was looking at this, I'm like, okay, like the 11 won with Irad and Pratt. He lost last time to the 9. But now the 9 has a better, like Street Beast has a better post, and he's breaking super wide here and doesn't want to be he's gonna have to hope the pace gets hot. I feel like
that's how he's won though. That's how he's won though.
Right, that's how he's won though. But he won. I mean, if like Irad came here to ride this horse or Pratt was here to ride this horse, I feel like 100% different.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about Shimonot. He's not my boy.
right. I don't mind him, but like that's where I'm. I like. Do I trust him to come from seven back wide to run down the rest of the field at 3-1? Eh, that's where I was like, I'll skip and I'll toss him if he beats me. He beats me.
I like the base on the 11 as well. Mile, 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 and the
Yeah.
16th mile. We talked about that earlier in the week as well. So
Yep.
I'll use the 11.
I agree
You'll
with that.
use the 1. We'll go head to head with those two. The other horse you're going to use is a price that. Sorry, you're going with the horse that we agree with, the
Yep.
number 7 at 8 to
Yeah.
1. This is the Vacoma baby. What'd you like about this one?
I like that they're shipping him from Aqueduct. We kind of touched a little bit about this on the preview show. A New York-based horse broke his maiden at Saratoga, then ran at Aqueduct, and then ran twice at Aqueduct, one last time out, and now Morley shipping him here with Santana to ride. I don't know how many mounts on the day Santana has. I can't imagine he has many. Like Santana clearly came here to ride this horse. I feel like this is they must think they have something here if they're willing to ship this horse out of New York.
Hmm.
That is my only that is my thing. Not only to ship the horse out of New York, but to get Ricardo to basically spend his Saturday at Turfway. Um, I don't know. I really don't know how many mounts Ricardo has on the whole card, but yeah, I thought this horse made a ton of sense. He's another horse that wants to sit a little bit off the pace. And from the 7 post, he's like, yeah, he's going to be a little wide, but I don't think he's like, it's not like the 11 and the 12 where like I think there's a potential that you know, they're either going to be parked 4 or 5 wide on that first turn or they're going to get shuffled back so they're not that wide. I feel like the 7's just another horse that I think is just going to get a good trip from having a little bit of natural speed and just being able to sit mid pack.
Santana's doing the Aqueduct Turfway double because these races are Saturday night at Turfway. So he's actually in 7 races at Aqueduct during the day, and then he shows up
Oh,
at Turfway to run in race 8 and race 9.
oh, fantastic. Okay, so all right. Well, like still, I feel
That's a
like
day's work.
this is the horse, right? And that this is the horse though. Why he's doing that? I can't
Yeah.
imagine that they, as fun as race 8 is, I can't imagine that the race 8 was the reason he
Yeah,
was
he was
coming
on
here.
honor roll. I also am going to use the number 2, Steel Imperium, $510,000 2024 Saratoga sale, sired by essential quality out of an arch mare. This horse has only raced once, but that one time was a 91 Equibase speed figure. And I just thought in this race, watch him out of the gate, Vinny. He just completely misses it. You're gonna quickly see which one he is because he's the one that's not anywhere near the rest of the pack. There he is, the number 1, quickly behind everybody, right? And obviously, hopefully that's not the case. But first time starter. The move here, cutting to the rail, getting out to the center of the track. I mean, this is a first time starter. I thought that this was pretty impressive right there, swinging all the way out to the right, getting to the middle of the track. On February 7th, you see the snow, and this is probably in the middle of that really cold stretch. And he runs down this field over the same track, which is the reason that you liked the horse in the first leg. I thought this was good enough for me to want to include him on my ticket. Hopefully, he doesn't completely miss the break again, because if he does against this field, I think he might be in a little bit more trouble. Any interest for you on the 15 to 1 Steel Imperium with Dylan Machado aboard?
Yeah, not really. I mean, that was an impressive maiden win. If he does it again, sure. I just I don't know. Horses like this just kind of they kind of scare me a bit. Where you have a $510,000 yearling purchase, and you're running them at Turfway. Like that is like I guess like that's kind of where I'm at. Like you spent $510,000 on this horse, and you're running him at Turfway. Like I just I don't know. I feel like that to me that says that like he's not as good as we originally thought he could be. So we're running him here, and that is like I guess that's where I'm at. not a small time connections. We'll see. We'll see. And it definitely the horse showed something in that debut. So especially at 15-1, like I'm not gonna talk anybody off of it, but just wasn't for me.
Here's our ticket. I'm going to go 7-9 with the 2-7-11. Vinny's going to go 2-6 with the 1-7. Be sure to throw in the comments who you like in our daily double, and then get over to the app and put it in there as well. Vinny, I'm excited for next week. We have a lot of Derby horses coming back to the racetrack, which is going to be certainly exciting. So stay tuned right here as we look at we'll look at the Fountain of Youth. The Rebels running next Sunday, and there's one
Yep.
that I'm forgetting off the top of my head.
Same here. It's
Goth,
Fountain
Gotham.
of Youth. No, it's I'm not
Well,
gonna think of it in the next 10 seconds.
We'll have it. We'll have it
Rebel
for.
and Fountain. Yeah, Rebel and Fountain of Youth for sure though.
We'll have it for everyone. It is the Gotham at Aqueduct.
Is it the Gotham?
It is. You should know that. That's your stomping grounds, my friend.
I know. I should know. I should know that. They're just the New York preps get me sometimes, where they just nobody runs in them anymore, and it's sad.
We will also have a top 5 long shots for the Kentucky Derby video coming out over the next few days as well. So stay tuned and see where we might find some prices. And if anybody that's followed me over on Trust the Profits or on X knows that there might be a particular horse from Japan involved in that mix. Until next time, I'm Colin. He's Vinny. Good luck, everybody.